about not taking things on appearances. That was an elaborate hoax. Take this holotape and give it a listen. Clearly fake. Injured, huh? This is just a nick. If you can't tough it out, and you want to be fixed up, it'll cost you 50 caps. Now, this won't hurt a bit. Just kidding. It'll probably hurt a lot. Hold still. All right, that should do it. You need anything else? Sure can. And a quick shot. All done.
Hey, welcome to the Chop Shop. I'm Nurse Graves, Dr. Morrow's assistant. Don't let our place's name fool you. The doctor is very good with injuries, dismemberments, and trauma. If you require any stim packs or blood packs, let me know. Bye.
You'll never guess who just showed up at my place. That android catcher from the Commonwealth. At first, I thought he was going to kill me. But it turns out he's an android himself. And he's gone rogue. I didn't believe him at first, but I'm convinced he's telling the truth. We need to find him a place to hide along the railroad. He also insists that we help him locate a trusted doctor in Techie.
If you're listening to this recording, it is because you're believed to be trustworthy. I hope that is the case, because this recording puts us both in danger. I'm escaping from the Commonwealth. I'm an android, a synthetic man, a slave. The men hunting me are ruthless and will stop at nothing to retrieve their property. I need to find a doctor in the Wasteland to perform facial reconstruction. I also need someone who knows a great deal about computers. I need to have my memories erased and my face altered to look like someone else.
I'm afraid she's going to be out for a while. She's not well at all. Don't worry, though. I'm sure the rest of Riley's Rangers will show up soon and take her home. Oh, you must be new around here. They're a mercenary company that bases itself out of the DC ruins. I'm assuming she's their leader, Riley. What was left of her armor had her name stenciled on it. She was in a pretty bad way when they found her outside Underworld. She had multiple lacerations, contusions, broken leg, some internal bleeding, and blunt force trauma. She hasn't been conscious since they brought her in a few days ago. I'd say she tangled with some super mutants and lost. It's a miracle she isn't dead. She was just brought in by a few others. They found her bleeding to death at the entrance to the city here. If she'd been out in the tunnels any longer, she'd have been someone's meal by now. Well, I wouldn't recommend it. She's in some sort of coma. It's dangerous to force someone out of one. There's no telling when she'll come out of it, I'm afraid. Unless you're an expert at medicine, I wouldn't recommend it. You may end up doing more harm than good. However, I'm all for helping my patients, so if you think you have the ability, be my guest. It was clearly faked. You can ask practically any doctor in the Wasteland. We all got a tape like this. It would be dangerous. The sudden shock to us. I know it.
remember that secret android project I told you about? Well, they got some serious pre-war tech on their hands. They nabbed a lipoplasticator and a microdermal graftalizer for the facial reconstruction. Not sure where they'll find a chopper with enough skills to use it without making him look like a freaking ghoul. Oh, and get this. Can you believe they found a circuit neuralizer? That or someone built one. Word is that they're going to completely rewire the brain of one of those things. If you know who they got working on this, let me know. I want to meet the guy.
What have you heard? What makes you think that we've got something to say to one another? Yeah, what is it? Oh my, someone new. I'm so sorry. You must think me terribly rude. Welcome to Carol's place. I'm Carol. It's not much, I know, but it's mine. So if you need anything, just let me know. Greta will get you any food you want, and I handle the rooms. It's so good to have someone new here, especially a pretty young smooth skin like yourself. I hope you like it here. Gob? Yes, of course. He's my son. Well, not really. Not like you would think of a son. We ghouls don't really work like that, but I love him like he's my own. Do you know him? Have you seen him? Is he all right? Oh, that's wonderful news. I'm so glad. If you see him, please tell him that his mother misses him and loves him and that I hope he's happy. But he shouldn't come visit. It's too dangerous. No, he should stay put where he is. Oh, that's such a long story. You couldn't possibly want to hear about that. Well, okay. But it's nothing special. I was born in 2051, so yes, that makes me a pre-war ghoul. I do. I was in a shelter with my father when the bombs hit. In DC, we had the luxury of getting a warning after the West Coast was gone. I was just a little girl then. We couldn't afford a space in one of the vaults. I remember filing down into that shelter, my father rushing me in. He stopped to help this one family. And I looked up and called his name. There was a flash of light brighter than anything you could imagine. I woke up a few hours later. The first thing I did was run up to where my father had been. He was gone. But the strangest thing, there was his shadow, burned into the wall, so crisp and clear, like he was standing next to me. The heat had burned it into the concrete. The city was on fire for weeks, maybe months, I don't know. I hid down here in the museum. It was the closest building to the shelter I was in. But I could hear what was happening above. People howling like animals, chaos, looting, killing. It's like every foul thing inside of them came out. It was a nightmare. I don't want to talk about it. I don't know how it happens. Dr. Burroughs says it was radiation. All I know is that people kept showing up here in the museum. After things calmed down above ground, we tried to live down here as best we could. After a while, things got strange. My skin started to get dry and flake off. Everyone's did. Took a while. Months, maybe a year. But sooner or later, everyone ended up like this. Some of them went crazy. Some of us just accepted it. After a while, other ghouls would find their way in here, and Underworld just sort of grew. No one bothered us down here. We were happy enough to leave them alone. And once my Greta showed up, it was a good enough life for me. You tell the same story for 200 years, you'll feel pretty uninteresting too. No? Oh. Okay. That's right, her and I have been together for, about 60 years now. But things haven't really been the same since Gob left. He was like a son to me. I think Greta was always a little jealous of him.
That shows that she, Carol's telling us about when the bombs dropped. It was about 200 years ago. And if you remember, if you guys have seen the Fallout 4 trailer, the character said that he's been asleep, that the bombs dropped 200 years later. So that means Fallout 4 is going to take place about the exact same time Fallout 3 takes place. So that means the events of Fallout 3 are occurring about the same time that the events of Fallout 4 will be taking place. If the timeline connects like that. That'd be kind of interesting.
You're not bad for a human. What? Hey, I saw you over there talking to Carol. She's friendly, isn't she? But don't you get any ideas about her? Got it? Good. Now do you want something to eat? Just don't ask what it's made of. You humans seem to have weak stomachs. You'll be back.
Of course, we'll find out when Fallout 4 comes out. If the character says, the year is 2077 or 2177, I'm not sure. So if it dropped in see, the war started in 2077, and it's 200 years, so it's 2277 in Fallout 3.
Mr. Crowley, I'd be much better off if you people would just leave me alone. Hey, you... Oh, why, hello there. Pleasure to meet you. I'm Quinn. You too, stranger. I know a lot of people around here don't take kindly to humans wandering around, but I've met a lot of your people in my travels. Yeah, just east of here. Bunch of guys with guns are holed up there. Later. You. Yeah, you. I want to talk to you. What the hell did you wake me up for, smooth skin? What are you staring at? You think you'd never seen a ghoul up close before? Is that so? Even